Let's talk about Gepard's sister, the one that doesn't use ice but lightning instead and is a rock star. Yes, guys, we're going to be talking about Serval today and whether you should build Serval or not. Personally, I think you probably should build Serval because she's actually pretty good unless you're planning to pull for Jing Yuang. If you're pulling for Jing Yuang, probably don't need this build guide at all because he's much better than she is in every single way. She's going to get power crept immensely when he comes out. But if you don't plan on pulling for Jing Yuang, and even if you pulled for Jing Yuang but didn't pull him, I think Serval is a great alternative to use. Despite what most of the tier lists say putting her in D tier, I definitely do not think she's D tier. I definitely think she's in the A tier. She helps out a lot. She does a lot of shield breaks. Her ultimate does a lot of damage, and honestly, she helps with DOT teams. So if you're using Sampo, she's a really good addition to any team using Sampo on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about her skills first. Then we're going to talk about the relic set she's going to be using, then on to light cones and the Eidolons, if you even need those for this character. Hey, it's future U2 here, and I'm just making a little cut in here to say there is a character showcase at the end of the video. I heard your guys' feedback on the Sampo video saying you guys wanted a character showcase, so we're adding that in at the end of this video. Unfortunately, I already had this video recorded already and edited all the way down before I actually saw that feedback. So yeah, for the next like 2 showcases, it'll probably be this way. But yeah, just know there's a character showcase at the end of the video. Thanks, guys. So let's talk about Serval's actual skill. She'll be dealing lightning damage to one main enemy, and then the 2 enemies adjacent to her are also going to be receiving some lightning damage as well. This has an 80% base chance to actually shock the enemy's hit for 2 turns, and this 80% chance can go up to 100% if you upgrade her trace here, which increases the base chance by 20%. Also, these shocked enemies will be taking lightning DOT for 48% of Serval's attack at the beginning of each turn. This is what makes her really good for Sampo teams because DOT, and he increases DOT, so absolutely amazing. Works with Daddy Himbo Sampo really well. Hopping into her ultimate now, which is honestly her main damage dealer, she's going to be dealing lightning damage equal to 122% of her attack to all enemies, and also the enemies that are already shocked with the debuff, this will be extending that shock by 2 turns, meaning you don't have to use her skill every single turn to shock the enemies, because this is being able to extend that by 2 turns, meaning you can get up to 4 turns of shock without actually using a skill twice. And finally, her talent. This is the main damage dealer for her. After Serval attacks, she will be dealing additional lightning damage equal to 43% of her attack to all shocked enemies. Now this one right here is really big because if you use her skill and then use her ultimate to do big damage, she'll be dealing additional 43% damage on top of that. Now this only grows with the traces that you upgrade. So yeah, this is just a really good skill all around to have and makes her a pretty good DPS for the team. Now let's go ahead and talk about our relics now. First, I'll make a quick mention of what you should be using if you're pre-Trailblazer rank 30 on her. And then after that, we'll be talking about what you should be using after Trailblazer rank 30, getting into all the substats and stuff like that, and how you should actually build her. So as far as pre-level 30 guys, I would just be running 4-piece Musketeer to increase the attack as much as possible. As far as the substats go, you just want to focus on crit damage, speed, and energy recharge if you can get it. And for post level 30, we're actually going to be using 4-piece Sizzling. Now, the reason why we're using 4-piece Sizzling and not 2 Sizzling, 2 Musketeer is because the damage increase is actually a little bit higher with using 4-piece Sizzling. Even though it only procs for 1 turn, you can basically use her skill, use her ultimate, and get more damage out that way than the other way around. With you using the skill, using the ultimate, you would get less damage out that way. So that's why I'm using 4-piece Sizzling. But I do think 2 Sizzling, 2 Musketeer could also work. Now, as far as the actual subsets you want to be going for, guys, on these pieces, you want to be going for crit rate, crit damage, speed, and also energy recharge if you can get it. Because she is going to be a main DPS unit on the team, you want to build up that crit rate, crit damage as much as possible because you do want her ultimate to crit if possible. Even though it doesn't affect the DOT stats at all, that's what you're going to have Sampo for on the team if you're using a team with Sampo to increase that DOT for her. As far as the main stats you want on the boots, you want a pair of speed boots. Speed boots just really help out as far as getting turns up and faster turnaround. Speed is the best stat in the game, so you obviously want to build speed as much as you can. And as far as the chest plate goes, you want to either spec into crit rate or crit damage. Whatever gets your ratio correct, because you do want a 2-to-1 ratio just like in Genshin. You want double the crit damage that you have your crit rate. So if your crit rate's at 30%, then you want your crit damage at least 60%, and so on and so forth. Just keep using that multiplier the higher your crit rate and crit damage goes. As far as the rope and sphere go, I would recommend using a 2-piece space ceiling station or 2-piece sprightly as well to get that energy recharge up so you're able to proc that ult off more. Most of her damage comes from her ult, so it might be better just to get energy recharge because her actual energy to use her ult is kind of low. It's only 100% to Sampo's 120%. So if you can build that ult up faster, it'll be a lot better for her to use. Now, as far as the stats you want to focus on here, I would focus on getting an attack main stat for your rope. And for your sphere, I would recommend getting an electro damage boost. And if you guys don't know how the energy system works in this game, let me just go ahead and give you a quick little breakdown of how it works. So every time you use your ultimate skill, it'll inherently give you 30 energy back. Every time you use a skill, it'll give you 20 energy back. Every time you use a basic attack, it'll give you 10 energy back. And every time your character gets hit, it'll give you 8 energy back. So the higher the energy recharge ratio, everyone starts at least 100% base. Anything you get on top of that, that'll add extra energy that you actually get back. And with her, you really want to get the energy back so you can keep spamming her ult. And one other thing I think I should mention as far as the actual attack stat goes, you only want to get around double the current attack stat that you have. So when you go into more stats and you see your base attack stat right here, that plus should be very close to like the same number there. That's about as much as you want to do on attack, because attack really doesn't scale as well as increased damage does. And I know what you'll say, Serval having more attack will give her more DOT, which yes it does, but that's not the main thing she's here for. That's just a subsidiary of what she's actually doing. The main thing you want to focus on is getting her ult up and using her ult. And if you can get anything that increases damage of that ult, that's really what you want to spec into. But talking about specking into her ult, let's go ahead and talk about our light cone now. But before that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Maybe only like 4% of you guys are actually subscribed to the channel, so maybe hit the subscribe button if you want more build guides like this, or just more videos on Honkai in general. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the light cones that are pretty good for her now. So talking about the light cones, this game actually gives a lot of support for Serval as far as light cones go, because they give 2 free ones out that are actually pretty good for her. Now, if you didn't participate in the All-Star Web event, then you wouldn't get this one for free. So there is one other one they give out for free for sure to everyone that even plays the game. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about both light cones now. The best light cone by far is going to be Make the World Clamor, and this one's so good because it increases her initial energy when she enters battle. And on top of that, it's going to be increasing her ultimate damage by 56%. And know how I said it's increasing her ultimate damage rather than increasing the attack of her ultimate? This scales a lot better and does a lot more damage by increasing the damage rather than increasing the attack. But with that being said, let's talk about what else can be used for her. So the Seriousness of Breakfast could also be used for her as well. I don't like this one as much because it only increases her overall damage by 15%. And it also increases the attack by 5% up to 3 times, meaning you can get 15% attack at S2. At S1, I think this is like a 3% chance or something like that. So this one obviously is not as good for it, but if you're facing a lot of enemies, it could definitely help out a lot as far as like DOT damage. But overall, this one's just not as good as Make the World Clamor. So if you have Make the World Clamor, use that one. If you don't, then use this one because it can help a little bit. And finally, let's go ahead and talk about her Eidolons. Honestly, you really don't need any of the Eidolons, but talking about the best 2 Eidolons that you could possibly get for her is probably E2 and E4. The reason I say E2 is because every time you activate her talent, which if an enemy is shocked and you attack them, it's going to be doing additional damage. Every time that is procced, which should be just about every single turn, you'll be getting 4 energy back, meaning you'll be getting that ultimate back a lot quicker. So on top of that 10 energy you're getting from your basic attack, this will add an extra 4 on top of that. And also, if you have energy recharge rate increased, this is going to be increasing that even more. And C4 is also really good because it has a 100% base chance to apply shock to all of the enemies. Now, the reason I say this is good is because you don't have to necessarily use your skill or use a skill point. If you have her ultimate, you can use it and apply shock to the enemies, which is also really good. And on top of this too, you're getting 4 extra energy back for that as well, so that's still pretty good. Alright guys, hopping into our character showcase now for Serval. Let's go ahead and talk about her stats. I did change a few things, but as you can see here, we did switch to a 2-piece sizzling, 2-piece musketeer, just because the pieces I already had for musketeer worked for her already, and I don't have any pieces for sizzling right now because we're absolutely down bad. As far as the chain and the sphere go, we're running the energy recharge set on her. It's probably better to run the attack set, but we're running the energy recharge to keep proccing that ult off as much as possible. On the chain, we're running attack percentage, and we're running a lightning damage bonus on the sphere. So hopping into the battle now, this is the team we're going to be using. We're using Gepard, Sampo, Vailu, and also Serval herself. And as you saw there, we already broke their shield by coming into the battle with her electricity. This is why she's so good. She has AoE electricity damage, meaning she's going to break basically everyone's shield with electricity, and she breaks it quite fast too. But the main thing here is just applying shock and oh, I didn't activate the ability. Shame on me for trying to record a video and focus on the game at the same time. Let's go. We took damage there for no fucking reason. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and hit our ult now. Okay, let's see. We did 7,000 damage across the board there. We killed the 2 side units there, and we took down his shield quite a bit. For Sampo, we're just going to do our normal little thing here to go ahead and get up some wind shear on him. Alright, now for Gepard, we're just going to go ahead and freeze. Like I said, this team really, the main thing is just building up DOT. building up DOT and breaking shields with her. As you can see, 2,000 damage there, another 1,000 damage, or another 2,000 damage there actually from that. Now, yeah, just keep building it up now. We have 5 stacks now, so we really don't have to do much else. We're going to go ahead and use his ulti now. We're going to have her ult really soon, meaning we're going to get those stacks back of lightning. So that'll be really good for her as well. Another 2,400 damage there from the shock. I would like to freeze here, but we didn't actually build up enough skill points last round. So yeah, he's just gonna have to punch him. Come on, does this give me ult? Please. Oh my gosh, we were like 3 away. The energy recharge needs to be a little bit higher. No. So since we have her next, we can actually use Sampo's normal attack because they already have 5 stacks of wind streak here. And then we're just going to go in with this attack here. It'll build up her ultimate. Let's go ahead and use her ultimate now and absolutely fuck this man up, bro. Yeah, another 1,600 damage there. He's almost dead. Bailu comes in, and we're just literally going to use normal attacks the rest of the way through now. This should kill him right there. Yeah, easy clap. Anyways, yeah, I hope you like what you saw there. I don't know if this is the best showcase I could have shown, so leave in the comments below what kind of a showcase you want to actually see. This is the first thing I could just think of, is just going into the, like, basically abyss and just testing her out here. But yeah, she definitely needs some work done on my account. We need definitely more crit rate and some more energy recharge too, but that will come in the future when we actually get our 5-star artifacts. But until then, that's really gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and here's the end of the video that was already put up. But yeah, as far as Serval goes, I think she's a must build if you guys don't plan on pulling for Jingyu Wong. I think she can help you out and carry you through a lot of the game, especially through some of the simulated universes as well, just with her ability to break shields so fast and do a decent amount of shock damage too with Sampo on there. It's pretty good. The game even gives you her for free, so it's not like you're having to pull for her or anything. So, I mean, why not build her, you know? I will say after Jingyu Wong comes out, she is going to fall off tremendously. So let me reiterate the point one more time. If you plan on getting Jingyu Wong, or if you've pulled Jingyu Wong, don't invest too much into her because you'll be using him over her regardless. So yeah, that's really all I have to say in today's video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Also, do you guys have any characters you want me to make a build guide for or anything like that? If so, leave it in the comments below too. I'll look into those characters to make a build guide. I know as of recording this video today, I'll be actually building my Natasha because I haven't built my Natasha the whole time. To be honest, I haven't really needed her. I haven't used a healer up until this point. And then when I got to this point, I started using Bailu, but I do want to see how Natasha can actually work, or how good Natasha can be, because I think that Natasha could actually be better than Bailu just because of this trace right here, being able to remove a debuff from an ally. This is really strong, especially against Kafka. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope everyone enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.